If you hear the chat say me, I bet. We back with another one, right? So we just got into we covered the Trae Young trade. We covered Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and why he's potentially one of the greatest scorers ever to play the game of basketball. Yes. Now we are going to be covering arguably the most hated basketball player of all time. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I don't get why everyone hates this nigga, but I hate this nigga. So who cares? I don't get why y'all hate him, but I hate him. So we're gonna get into understanding JT's game, because yeah, you could hate the player, but come on, you can't hate the game. You can't hate the game now. Come on now. You can't hate the game. So we're gonna try to understand now why JT's game is so elite. Because like I said, this whole series, we're live right now on YouTube. Make sure you tune into the YouTube lives. Hit the notification button, because we're gonna be doing another one Saturday the 10th. But we're gonna be getting into why JT's game is so elite, and why we obviously know he's a superstar, but why it's superstar worthy. Why is that caliber? Why he had that caliber? Why he respected like that game wise? Nigga, fake Kobe wanna be nigga. Fake Kobe wanna be nigga.
Marks the third year in a row where the Celtics had at least a top 2 offense in the NBA. And while they've loaded their roster with capable shooters, ball handlers, and decision makers, I do think it goes somewhat unnoticed just how much of this elite offense is created by Jayson Tatum, who's quietly turned into one of the game's best playmakers. Most of Boston's offense is built around hunting for mismatches to attack one-on-one. They'll often set high ball screens for Tatum as soon as he crosses half court to get the switch onto a matchup he wants. Then from there, he'll do what he does best as an isolation creator.
Yeah. Wait, let me pull this back a little bit, because I don't like what I'm seeing here. If playback doesn't make it, surely turn. The playback started, buddy.
Screens for Tatum as soon as he crosses half court to get the switch onto a matchup he wants. Then from there, he'll do what he does best as an isolation creator. More times than not, they're looking to get the switch onto someone who's slower than him laterally so that he can use his combination of ball handling and agility to put pressure on the rim. Typically, that means getting the switch onto a big, but it could also mean a weaker defensive wing, and with a favorable matchup, he's one of the toughest players in the league to stay in front of. Of course, the Celtics then have all of those three-point shooters to surround him on these perimeter isolations, so once he gets downhill, the defense is then forced to pick their poison. Bringing late help on drives is a super dangerous game. Not only is Tatum going to consistently find the open man, who's probably a 40% three-point.
I'm going to be honest, right, though. If you're taller than the most of the field, playmaking should be a strength in your game, right? Like, let's be honest. You can scan the whole field. You can see. All it takes is like a quick, whether you're driving, like a click 1-2. And you can see who's open, bro. Unless, they're behind you. But this should be at least a strength, or at least average ability for most like superstar forwards and shit, bro.
Shooter, thanks to his size and touch, he's more than capable of finishing through traffic, so after building that head of steam, it's tough to keep him from scoring. This season, shooter, thanks to his size and touch, he's more than capable of finishing through traffic, so after building that head of steam, it's tough to keep him from scoring. This season, 103 players have attempted at least 200 shots at the rim. Of those 103, only 3 of them have shot at least 72.5% at the rim, with less than half of their shots being assisted on. Those players are Giannis, LeBron, and Jayson Tatum. To make things even tougher, Boston will often go to a 4-out, 1-in setup with a guard playing from the dunker, and that often leaves the defense with no resistance in the paint. For these reasons, it's in the defense's best interest to keep him as far away from the basket as possible. So they're often looking to get the ball out of his hands early. This time he gets the switch onto a big, and help loads up early at the nail. But with nobody on the wing, Tatum makes the help commit to the ball before kicking it to the corner, leaving Brown with a wide open 3. Sometimes you'll see defenses just outright double the ball, and he's just so good at reading these coverages, then making the right decisions. Take a look at this play. He gets trapped more than 30 feet out, and both of his easy outlets are covered, so he makes an absolutely ridiculous cross-court pass that lands right in the shooting pocket of Al Horford. Another way the Celtics will hunt for mismatches is by using Tatum as the screener. This is usually to get the switch onto a smaller player, to which he'll attack from that mid-post. In these spots, he's again looking to get downhill, often using his physical advantages to just push his way to the rim with ease, and he pairs that interior presence with great touch as a shooter, so if there's no space to attack, he'll often fall back on short mid-range jumpers. So this creates the same sort of issues for the defense. He's such a mismatch in the middle of the floor, then he has the vision to counter help regardless of where it's coming from, once again making them pick their poison. What stands out most to me is the speed of his decisions. When he screens and seals off the entry pass, Khalil Ware drops to the paint to help, so right off the catch, he immediately kicks it out to Horford for an open three. Here's another example. He screens to get the switch onto Maxey, posts up, but the Sixers come with an immediate double off the catch, so he tosses it right back to Derek White for a warm-up triple. Even on a play like this where he gets the ball in the middle and Trace Jackson-Davis is barely cheating over, he sees that opening and throws a quick dime to Horford, who's got enough space to shoot. As a playmaker, this time he's setting up for one of those high That quick decision making is the key to all of his reads as a playmaker. This time he's setting up for one of those high ball screens, and Christian Braun barely even steps over to help, but with a quick pass to the wing, White has more than enough room to step into a three.
I'm gonna pause it right here, right? Here's the thing about JT's game. Yes, he hits tough shots, but and yes, he's fun to watch at times, but it's just like, I feel like it's missing some of that X factor. That's just like, that makes me just want to watch JT play all the time. Shai has that X factor. Luka has that X factor. I think JT got to highlight hunt a little bit more. I think you got to highlight hunt a little bit more.
On this one, he actually starts away from the ball, and he's trying to lose his man with some movement. And
trust me, he gets highlights. It's just, his highlights is just not like, yo, I want to bounce around the room type of highlights. Feel me?
He touches the ball. He knows Drummond's going to jump out, so he immediately gives it back to Cornette for points at the rim. His anticipation is nothing short of elite. He consistently, as he touches the ball, he knows Drummond's going to jump out, so he immediately gives it back to Cornette for points at the rim. His anticipation is nothing short of elite. He consistently knows what the defense is going to do before they do it, which allows him to exploit all sorts of different advantages. Here's a play that starts with the Cavs switching a high ball screen, but instead of Tatum isolating, they're looking to post up Kristaps against the guard. Tatum knows that the Cavs are trying to avoid that mismatch with a scram switch though, and as soon as Jared Allen starts to drop from the corner, that's his cue to make the pass to Al Horford. Just because he makes instant decisions doesn't mean he's rushing though. Look at the patience here. He's looking to isolate Wemby, but waits to see how the defense is going to load up. Then when Vassell comes with a late double, he gives it up to Horford on the wing for a great look. Between the slashing, mid-post game, quick decision-making, and court vision, Tatum creates a ton of advantages in isolation. On the season, he's third in the NBA at 8.9 isolation possessions a game. On those plays, the Celtics are generating 1.03 points per possession, which is good for the 76th percentile among all players. With all of that said though, I'd say most of his best reads as a playmaker come out of the high pick and roll. Anytime Tatum comes off a screen, he's hunting for off-the-dribble threes. He's capable of pulling up in a variety of ways, and while moving in any direction, then because of his height, he can get these shots off pretty much on demand.
He still got the three. Maybe he does have some good highlights, man. Maybe I gotta watch a JT highlight comp. Maybe I'm just yapping.
He's attempting just under 4 threes a game out of the pick and roll, good for third in the league, and on those shots, he's made almost 35%, so it's something that He's attempting just under 4 threes a game out of the pick and roll, good for 3rd in the league, and on those shots, he's made almost 35%, so it's something that defenses have to game plan for. Then he uses the threat of the jumper beautifully. Notice how he comes to a stop and gathers as if looking to pull up, which draws Drummond to the ball and leaves Kornet open on the roll. Because this is a shot he'll take and make at volume, opposing bigs are almost always forced to defend near the level of the screen, and at this point he's basically mastered the art of picking apart those coverages. Because of the handle and agility, if he turns the corner and a big is out in space, chances are he's getting around them on his way to the rim.
JT.
And if he isn't getting around them, he's going through them, as he's got the size to attack a backpedaling big and create that separation. So now we're back to square one with the defense having to pick their poison. The big steps up to not give up the pull-up 3. He counters with a drive, then help collapses to not let him get to the rim, and the result is a kick out to a shooter for a wide open jumper. It doesn't matter where help comes from. This time when he turns the corner and gets a step by Gobert, Edwards drops from the corner to protect the rim, only for Tatum to throw a live dribble skip pass, leading to an easy 3 for White.
Yeah.
On this one, Jalen Duren actually
Kind of like Luka a little bit with the passing, no? I don't think he gets Luka numbers, but he's really good at finding an open man.
does a really good job of taking away the jumper and moving his feet to keep the ball in front without needing help. But instead of switching, Asar continues to follow the drive. So when Tatum actually does a really good job of taking away the jumper and moving his feet to keep the ball in front without needing help. But instead of switching, Asar continues to follow the drive. So when Tatum turns around, Horford's on an island at the top of the key. Boston's primary screeners also being threats to pop really amplifies these actions. It's just another wrinkle that the defense has to worry about, and again, Tatum knows how to take complete advantage of it. That especially stands out when they go to their inverted pick and rolls with a guard like White setting the screen. If the defense doesn't want to switch, they'll put 2 on the ball, and he'll consistently make that pass to the pop for quality 3-pointers. Speaking of which, many defenses just choose to put 2 on the ball anytime he comes off a screen in hopes of getting it out of his hands early. And sure, now they aren't forced to deal with his slashing, but between the passing vision, quick decision making, and patience, they're probably gonna get a great shot on those possessions. Tatum's averaging 13.5 pick and rolls a game, good for 19th in the NBA. On those plays, the Celtics are generating 1.05 points per possession, which, just like the isolations, lands him in the 76th percentile among all players. So with Tatum, we're talking about a guy who's near the top of the league in volume in both the pick and roll and in isolation. And both play types are leading to really efficient results, which is the focal point for...
We gotta have one of those stat YouTubers talk about how good he is, like, all time. What's he looking like all time for forwards?
Boston's elite half-court offense. The league average half-court offense this season has an offensive rating of 97.9. The Celtics are third at 104.3, meaning that they're about 6 Boston's elite half-court offense.
Keep doing this.
The league average half-court offense this season has an offensive rating of 97.9. The Celtics are third at 104.3, meaning that they're about 6.5 points above average. Like I said, Tatum's the focal point, and I actually think it gets somewhat understated how much involvement he has. He's averaging 84 touches a game, which is the 10th most of any player, and he's averaging over 5 minutes with the ball in his hands, which is more than some notable names like Donovan Mitchell, Steph Curry, and Nikola Jokic. Part of what makes him such a unique player, though, is that he's arguably just as effective away from the ball. The pull-up shooting can be up and down, but he's always reliable as
who is he feeling like?
Spot up. Over the last 3 seasons, he's attempted 664 catch-and-shoot threes, and he's made an impressive 41% of them. Then he pairs that shooting threat with the instant decision-making I talked about, which makes him one of the game's most dangerous off-the-catch attackers and extra passers. When he's spotted up on the perimeter, he's always going to draw a closeout, and he consistently takes advantage by swinging the ball and finding the open man. If there isn't he's
like a mix of like KD shot creation and shot making with like LeBron's passing. I don't know what his rebound stats look like, but maybe they're. I don't know. But if he added that rebound in the defense, oh,
immediate swing pass to
scary.
make, that's when you'll see him put the ball down and attack the closeout, which once again brings us back to the way he pressures defenses as a slasher. This off-ball game allows the Celtics to run offense through immediate swing pass to make. That's when you'll see him put the ball down and attack the closeout, which once again brings us back to the way he pressures defenses as a slasher. This off-ball game allows the Celtics to run offense through literally anyone. You'll often see Brown create the initial advantage, and Tatum fits right in as a spot-up shooter who will play off of that advantage to ensure that they get a good shot. I want you to think of Boston's offense like a chain of dominoes. On this play, the initial domino is Tatum drawing 2 out of the pick and roll and hitting Cornette in the short roll. The next domino is a kick out to Pritchard, and then an extra pass to White, and once they're all knocked down, the result is an open shot. This time, the initial domino is Tatum posting up a mismatch, drawing a double, and kicking it out.
Their offense is crazy fluid. It reminds me of the Warriors in 2017, bro. Like, it's fluid. It's like water. Like, the defense could be a cup. The defense could be a bowl. The defense could be a bottle. Boston is just gonna fit right in. Well, I don't know what they look like right now, but they're gonna fit right in and just get their shot off. They're gonna get it off, bro. Their offense is fluid.
Brown. Then the ball quickly swings around the perimeter, eventually finding White in the corner for a warm-up jumper.
Splat.
Like I said earlier, Tatum creating an advantage is usually the initial domino, but on this one, to Brown. Then the ball quickly swings around the perimeter, eventually finding White in the corner for a warm-up jumper. Like I said earlier, Tatum creating an advantage is usually the initial domino, but on this one, it's a drive and kick from Brown, and Tatum's just a part of the chain as he makes the final extra pass to Holiday for 3. Sometimes, though, he's the final piece to the puzzle. Brown drives and drops it off to White, who immediately kicks it out to Horford, who swings it to Holiday, who attacks a closeout and finds Tatum on the weak side for a wide open 3 of his own. Tatum's offensive development over the years has been awesome to watch. From big scoring wing to elite off-ball player to now one of the best decision makers and initiators in the NBA, we're talking about a truly complete offensive engine. And as we approach the playoffs, it'll be interesting to see if anyone can find an answer for this buzzsaw of a Celtics offense. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn my post notifications on to be first on more content. If you're interested in my more in-depth research, make sure to check out the Hoop Venue podcast and my social media profiles. You can find the—
Shout out to Hoop Venue. That was a good video. Shout out to Hoop Venue, man. Hey, y'all make sure y'all subscribe to bro, man. Go show him some love.